Hi, this is Isabel from Autism Untouched. It's already nighttime here by us in New Zealand, almost bedtime for us, but I went on Facebook tonight and I watched a video about, everybody in the autism communities that I follow, the blogs and vlogs, is up in arms about a teacher or teacher aide that was shaming a child that couldn't go on a field trip. So I thought I wanted to talk to you about this because it has happened to me as well. But I want to tell you how to make the best of it. So your child sometimes, uh, it's often it happened to me that the teacher would say to me, "Oh, we went to the park or we went here or there, and Matthew tried to run away or he didn't want to hold hands or he did something wrong and he had to he had to go back to the class, or he had to, or sometimes they would say if he, like once or twice it happened that he tried to run away on the field, away from the playground, away from, not in the road, but then the next time they would say, oh, somebody would rather stay with him in class instead of letting him go on an outing or a walk or a field trip. Now he doesn't go on a lot of field trips at his age, but they do go for visits at various places, and he gets to go sometimes. But this is that it's not important. These things happen all the time. That kids who make a mistake once or twice, I mean, they are autistic and they do think differently than normal kids. But if you have staff that can't understand how their brain works, then it's probably always going to be a problem. The the main thing is not how you see your child being excluded from trips, but that you handle it in a positive manner. In other words, if somebody, one of the teachers would approach you and tell you, oh, this child did this or that, and somebody had to stay behind with him, don't feel bad about it, because the bottom line is that nobody, those are not people, the people that are employed by government as teachers in our special needs schools. They are paid with our taxes, the money that we work for. And I used to work full time. I'm doing part time. I've got a part time income now. I'm working, doing my own thing to generate an income. But my husband's always worked, and our taxes are high. And this is the thing: if you are a special needs teacher, you need to be able to handle all kinds of situations and kids. It is not the child's fault that they are having a meltdown or struggling with something. And what I'm trying to get through to you as a parent of an autistic child, because this channel is for the parents, is that you must not let negative feedback from teachers stop you from taking your child out on field trips and taking them on outings where they can learn. That I found was my saving grace. The fact that I decided the thing is, if your child makes a mistake once or twice, especially if they're non-verbal, you have got no idea how things went down, what happened. I mean, no child is this just gonna refuse to get into a bus with someone if they feel safe with a person. But the fact remains is that never feel bad if a teacher tells you, oh, somebody had to go back to the class with your child because they misbehaved. They probably were being a kid. Maybe ran off took a run on the field, and the teacher obviously didn't feel like taking a run on the field. I don't blame them. You guys, I lost 20 pounds in the last year. I have been watching what I'm eating. I've been struggling with my weight, but it's not about my weight. I've lost a lot of weight because I realized I have to catch up with this little man if he starts running and he's fast. But you don't have to, it doesn't have to start weighing you down. That's what I'm telling you. You start taking your child out, start taking them into public places, to petting zoos, to restaurants. You make it joyful and exciting for you. Don't you be limited by the feedback you are getting from negative teachers trying to act like your child is some impossible child to take out. What I find is the problem, and I don't know if it's only my son, is that they make one or two mistakes, like normal kids do as well, and then they get labeled as a, this child's a problem. We can't take him on an outing, which is absolute nonsense. I mean, the problem is obviously the child teacher ratio. What I am saying is, instead of saying, you know what, we don't have enough staff to look after everybody, and that's why if a child slightly does something wrong, we'll just leave him in the class. It's easier to leave him there and let him sit and do nothing and get no exercise. I know I'm sounding very blunt now, and I'm sounding like a person that whines about everything, but no. I'm an advocate for our kids, for autistic kids. And I'm saying to you that if you are a mother or a father of an autistic child, you can take your own child on field trips. You can take them on adventures. You don't have to be limited to the school that they go to and whether they get out into the society or not. You need to be that person that takes them out. Don't be downhearted when you get negative feedbacks from school about your child. Don't believe that this is who your child is. If they say your child is stubborn or running away or doing this or that or not participating, that is not your child. Your child needs the right guidance and they need somebody who believes in them. And if you don't believe in them and you don't take them on field trips and you don't take them out, then who's going to do it? It is the buck stops with us as parents. And we need to realize that there's always going to be somebody that tries to put down the way you do things for your child. Or I often say if teachers and teacher aides, if they knew the battle we fight to have our kids included in activities and in society, if they knew, or if they had a child like we have, an autistic child, I'm pretty sure they would have thought of it completely different. Point is, you've got to be firm. You've got to be kind to yourself and to your child. You cannot allow your child be excluded of activities and learning opportunities just because one person decided, because they've made one or two mistakes, they now no longer qualify to go on field trips or to go outside the classroom at all. That is nonsense. Let them run their mouth. Let them tell you about how your child has done wrong when they went on this field trip. That's fine. But don't let that define your child's life. And don't let that stop you from taking your child out. I know it can be hard. When Matthew was between the ages of, I would say, 3 and 5, it was really much harder than it is now. But I'm telling you, and I want you to take courage, that as they get older, it does get easier. And let's just be positive about our autistic kids. Let's not just go with the flow when somebody starts telling you of how bad your child's behavior is. I have heard of so many success stories, and I read about it, of parents that did not accept the negative that was thrown in their face every day about their autistic child. They decided to believe in their child's ability to thrive and to be a balanced, happy child. And you know what? They succeeded. And I'm not saying this to say that all teachers and all caregivers and teachers' aid are in it for the money, or they're not passionate. You get amazing teachers and you get amazing teacher aides. My son this year is really blessed to have people that is on his side. Yes, they do complain sometimes, and they do say he's doing certain things that they're not happy with. But you know what? They are the trained professionals, and I've done a lot of research, so I also know more or less how his brain works. But I've learned to work with him and not against him, and that is the secret to taking your child on a field trip, is to work with them and not against them. I'm telling you, if you treat them with respect, a lot of I've been in a fortunate position that I've often noticed how a lot of people speak to autistic kids, especially those in the teaching profession. Some are really kind and loving towards them, and then there's some that treat them like they're in the army. Do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. Do you know what it sounds like to that child? Like this person is trying to control me, and this person doesn't respect me. I have proven it over and over again. I go with my child in the morning to school. I don't put him on a bus. I've seen and heard of too many horror stories of special needs kids on buses. So I take him personally to school. And I've seen it over and over again. Everything that he needs to do at school in the mornings, I go over it with him. I talk to him, I tell him, this is what we do now, this is what we do next, in a calm and respectful manner. He goes through his morning routine fine. Same at home. And I'm telling you, that is the secret to taking your child out. Don't wait for the school to take your child on field trips and educational trips. You can do it yourself. You don't need them to do it. It's nice when they do, but don't put your heart on it. And rather, put that energy that you would have wasted into feeling upset when you get negative feedback about your child on a field trip. Take that energy and put it into yourself and put it into your child. Take your child out. Take them to places. Show them things. Let them feel texture. Take them to the beach. Let them play in the sand. Don't wait for other people to give your child education. And it's fine if they are in school. My child's in school, but he gets educated at home too. His progress gets done at home. I sit with him and I let him get the exercise that he needs. I don't rely on the school to teach him or to give him exercise and to help him with his fine motor skills. And that's the thing. We need to be there for our kids. Don't be discouraged if you get negative feedback from the school about your child. This is what I wanted to say. Field trips is for everyone, autistic kids included. If they having problems with field trips, like this lady was saying, running her mouth about this child that was wasting her time basically, it's because she knows nothing about special needs kids. They are amazing, they are loving, they are kind. If you respect them and you treat them like they're a human being, let that be a lesson to those that are watching that can't understand why they don't have success with kids on field trips. It's all in your body language. It's all in your attitude. Autistic kids are clever. They can smell and see a fake person before you and I can even say it. I've seen it with my son. Some people he absolutely loves. You can see immediately when he sees them, he's happy to engage with them, he's interested. Then there's other people, I can see it, that he completely ignores them. Just gives them a side glance as if to say, you know what, when my mum's not here, you aren't very nice to me, so I don't want to talk to you now either. Just watch your child's body language. You'll be surprised what you learn. Good night from Isabel, Autism Untouched.